Because I think when you're in the prison, I think you're just about seeing
Just start calling it 659 every time.
Well, that's when you're.
Very sensitive someone.
I disagree. Yeah.
All right, ready to go?
We have a forum.
We won't have Rusty tonight. He's out of town. All right. Go ahead and call to order the middle school board meeting for March 18th, 2024. As usual, we begin the meeting with the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Would you mind reading our mission statement?
Yeah. Our mission to graduate all students with high levels of academic and physical achievement, ready for post-secondary excellence, prepared for productive, passionate citizenship, research-based instruction, and a collaborative system of support.
Thank you. 2.0, any changes or additions to the agenda?
The only thing you see is deleting 5.2. I'm interested in representative. Good night.
That's true, she is coming home from football.
Introductions and attendance. I think I'm going to ask admin team to introduce themselves again, just in case anybody's online.
Deborah
And for the
Stoneberg.
record, sorry.
Okay. Deborah Stoneberg, elementary principal.
Whitney Conlon, special education director.
Christopher's Garden mid high principal.
Caleb Solomon, middle school assistant principal.
Thank you very much for being here. Seeing nobody in the audience, I'll go ahead and read this off really quick. 4.0 public forum for individuals who are on site during this portion of the board meeting. Members of the public are specifically invited to present items of commendation and or concerns at the discretion of the board chair. Further public participation may be allowed at the time specific agenda items are under consideration by the board. This is under district policy BDDH. For individuals who review or who are viewing online, school district posts the upcoming agenda on our website, pleasanthill.k12.or.us, the Friday before regularly scheduled Monday school board meetings. This will allow for public comment prior to the board meeting. Please click on the tab provided to share your comments for the school board to consider at the upcoming meeting. Personnel matters may not be discussed in public at a school board meeting. Members of the public who have personnel concerns or commendations should share them directly with Superintendent Christ. 5.0 presentations, recognitions. 5.1 student of the month, most improved student of the
month. So Pleasant Hill High School students of the month in 9th grade was Sienna Shannon, 10th grade Josh Chevalier, 11th grade Jamie Heacock, and 12th grade Jack Harini. And he was the overall student of the month. He did not want to come and address this board and tell you what he was going to do after high school, so he gave me some notes. He said after high school he plans to go to OSU and major in engineering. He also got accepted to the honors college at OSU, and in his free time, his interests include running, theater, and guitar. Our most improved students were in 9th grade, it was Riley Jackson, 10th grade, Michaela Boaz, 11th grade, Alejandro Zelikowski, and 12th grade was Dominic Deckett.
All right, thank you very much.
Couldn't really get shy, because he did it solo. Could have been
Right,
an hour.
Mr. Conveniently.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, at the
That is really bad, yes.
All right, 6.0 action items, 6.1 consent agenda. This is something we approve in its entirety, so I'll hear motions.
Move approval of the consent agenda.
I'll second. Any further discussion? Drew, I neglected to double check that we can hear you and you can hear us.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I'm clear. All right, then seconded, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Unanimously. 6.2, approve forestry building remodel construction general contractor.
So we got some information for you regarding the forestry building construction project. So invitation to bid was advertised in Eugene Register Guard, Lakeville School website, Eugene Village Exchange, and the Oregon Vice. We had 4 potential general contractors who attended the mandatory pre-bid walkthrough on February 8th. And then 4 responses for the bids were received on February 22nd. Generally, this project consists of the remodel of the existing forestry building that was built in the early 1970s. Has been most recently used as a baseball and softball hitting facility. Project includes all site utility work to bring the existing building up to classroom standards, including its structural reinforcement, bathroom remodel in accordance with ADA standards, electrical wiring for stove, oven, dishwasher, refrigerator, student and teacher workstations, hot water heater, HVAC system, new doors, windows, cabinets, insulation, and multimedia projector. Work on this project will begin immediately and is to be under a single standard general construction contract. The original solicitation of documents and specifications were developed by Rod Hansen, architect, in cooperation with district staff. Superintendent Chris reviewed the procurement files. Funding for the project was provided through identified district resources that were allocated in the 23-24 fiscal year under Fund 284 maintenance. Recommendations, so it is recommended the board of directors approve the award of the Pleasant Hill Forestry Building Remodel Construction Project to Ordale Construction in Eugene, Oregon, with a base bid amount of $297,865.
All right, any questions or concerns?
I have one comment. Ordell is a client of mine, so I probably ought not to be voting.
All right. All recusal. Any other? We got Drew. If we didn't have Drew, then we wouldn't be able to do it.
Glad I logged in then.
We. That'll move to approve, resolution 2324.105. Bid for the forestry building remodel project.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Passed by a majority. Or the one abstaining. 6.3, adopt policy ECAC, video surveillance. This is the second read.
Yes, so at our February 26th meeting, we had our first read. So the following policy is presented for board approval and adoption at its second reading and reflect that updated procedures in the district. So it's ECAC video surveillance. The board authorizes the use of video camera on district property to ensure the health, welfare, and safety of all staff, students, and visitors to district property and safeguard district facilities and equipment. Video cameras may be used in locations as deemed appropriate by the superintendent. The district shall notify staff and students through student, parent, and staff handbooks that video surveillance may occur on district property. Students or staff in violation of board policies, administrative regulations, building rules, or law shall be subject to appropriate disciplinary action. Others may be referred to law enforcement. A video recording may become part of a student's educational record or a staff member's personnel record. The district shall comply with all applicable state and federal laws related to recorded meetings and retention. It's recommended the board of directors approve the adoption board policy ECAC video surveillance.
For a second read, I'm guessing that if we had any other questions or concerns, we would have brought it up before today, but making sure if not all.
Move to approve resolution 2324.106. Video surveillance policy.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Passes unanimously. 6.4, approve district equity lens.
Right, our last action item of the night. So we finished our third board work session. And through that engagement, we came up with the development of a district equity lens for the purpose of building equity lens questions for use in planning, decision making, and implementation of policies, practices, and programs. These questions are a guide only, and there may be other factors to consider. The lens is an ever-evolving tool for decision making that changes our constructs and understanding change. So what we came up with is, this is a attachment to the information. So equity lens questions for use in planning, decision making, implementation of policy and practice programs are number one, how does this decision align with the vision and mission of the district? Two, how have members of the student body, community, and or other stakeholders been involved in the decision-making process? Three, who does this decision affect negatively? Four, who does this decision affect positively? Five, what are the unintended consequences of the decision? And six, what is the data will be used to inform the decision? Seven, how will the outcome of this decision be sustainable? Those are recommended the board of directors approve the attached Pleasant Hill District Equity Lens.
Right, I move to approve resolution 2324.107 of the Hill School District Equity Lens.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. All right, 7.0 board discussion. 7.1 student engagement.
So in your packet, you will see an article on student engagement. We're going with this educational foundation. We have started with types of motivations. This is the second of the four that we will discuss for our next board meeting. This one really focused on engagement and motivation, the differences between those two, but I've just opened it up to see if there's any sort of a reflection.
As far as the economy piece, I don't know. September, October, whenever the student survey came out, and they were going over the results. I went to one of their meetings that Clarissa had with the students over there, and just they were given 3 colors of Post-it notes, and it was something we're already doing that we should keep doing, something we should start, something we should stop in regards to whatever the topic was. And a lot of the things on the green paper, I felt I wrote some of them down, but we're based in autonomy. And then also the relatedness, the mutual respect between staff and students. It seemed like there was quite a bit of animosity against staff doing things that students were reprimanded for, wanting a more open campus for lunch, wanting more ownership over their own choices in classes and education. And now, like, being an adult, now, right? If you want responsibility, then you have to show us some ability to manage the responsibility. We're not just gonna freely give it out and have you fail. But both of the autonomy and relatedness were definitely conveyed in that setting for the kids, high school kids.
Curious. So to how we would apply this to what's going on currently in our schools. Especially when it comes to like autonomy, what do we feel like we can start doing differently than what we're doing now to provide to. What I assume is, I just had the word, and I lost it, empowering students. What are we looking to change or to do in the future to start doing, to get there? Just like curious of a practical example of what that actually looks like at the day-to-day life for a student.
I think more so through the professional development and then that administrative support as far as working with staff, working with students, developing the culture, some of what Jennifer talked about in. We all have rules when we go out into society, that we can either choose to accept and abide by, in which case we never really run into a sense of not feeling that we have an autonomy. We don't have people that are directing us to do something that we're already doing that we know we should be doing anyway. And so building in that level of, I think, respect amongst the school community where everyone picks up after themselves. Everyone respects the environment they're in, because the bathroom, make sure the paper towels end up in the trash can. Water is not everywhere. Teachers are respectful of other classrooms when they're sending their kids down the hallway, that they're reinforcing the kids will do the same. Those types of things. The second, I think there's two other components of this though, is this idea of feeling mastery. So I sense that with a student that he sense that with effort, a student can succeed and grow. And also the relatedness. So relating with the students conveys respect and caring. There's other research out there around this like feeling of mastery that like when we say in schools, we want to make them a fun place. Being able to describe or define what fun means. And this article got to that a little bit, the idea of engaging students. And if we make something like an electronic component, because that's what we think that data relating to is fun, somehow that is going to be fun in the school environment. Whereas fun often relates to in a learning objective, if I learn the steps to be successful in that and I develop a new school or a new skill, that in terms of a classroom environment that is engaging will often also be defined as fun for a student. So it's really bringing everyone together. We talked a little bit last time about the symmetry of information and bringing everyone together along common professional development, common language, common understanding of engagement, motivation, what it means is how to get there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm curious if they had any examples of where they feel like there's inconsistency between accountability for teachers and students.
Yeah. These were gonna edit it, but direct quotes that they wrote on their post-it notes. We feel treated like little kids and want more freedom. Threatening attitudes from non-classroom teachers. Gossiping about out-of-district students. Staff doing things that we are punishing. And only 58 out of 245 kids think students treat adults with respect. Chris or Caleb, do you have any comments?
I have not seen that. you know, in my work, just kind of going through my first master scheduling thing, trying to figure out how we select classes for kids and the kind of the autonomy that they give, kind of going over that right now with my counseling team and my department heads. And so when I think about like they want autonomy to choose their education, trying to figure out a way, I know that there's some things that they're forced into that they may not want to be into, so I'm trying to lift those out and create more high interest electives so kids can't do that. My philosophy kind of has always been around quality of education versus quality of experience. And so I think what I kind of hang my hat on is trying to develop a quality of experience, because I think that the experience for kids is good. And that starts from the way adults interact with them and the relationship that they build with the adults on campus, then their experience is better. The more activities they can get involved in. I think I've kind of talked about the importance of kids being involved in extra and co-curricular activities. The more things we can engage them with, then the better their experience, and then the quality of education will go up. I mean, if we sometimes as adults, we think we have the best idea. We think we know what's going to fix kids or what the kids are going to want to do. Sometimes that's not it. I've noticed that we're lacking student voice in high school is one of the things.
Those about basketball.
Yeah, and so the low hanging fruit for me is creating a leadership class. So a class that is every single day, it's part of the day that can then address some of these issues on a daily basis. Or right now, student council is kind of an event. It's like every second Thursday of the month, they eat for lunch. And so I want to get more voice that way. I talked to Caleb about extending that into middle school so that there's more student voice, that kids can kind of control what they think is a reward or an incentive that's important to them. And in my interactions, it really, I'm kind of interested, like the students don't think that students treat the adults with respect. We were just talking today on the way to school. I've never been in a place where more kids engage with me in conversation, and just how kind of open the kids are in the commons, both the common areas. I mean, kids are very much like, you know, just talking to them very forthright with the adults. And so that intrigues me a little bit. So like I said, my next step would be engaging that student council a little bit. But as far as like the just in control of their education, what I find unique about, you know, Pleasant Hill High School is the programs are still implemented. So the kids that, whether it's Angela's program, Steve's program, Johnny's program, Jessica's program, they seem to be really bought into those. So it seems like they do have a lot of that autonomy of what they want to do and how they want to get it. There's the college opportunities, the college credit opportunities, the dual credit, those career pathways, and the experiences that they get seem really relevant, that a kid can pick what it is that they want to do. You hear the kids that are going to OSU in engineering, and one of our bookkeepers' daughter is a veterinarian. I mean, kids seem to come out of the school pursuing their passions. So kind of what is important to them, and we seem to have those gateways for them to do that. So as far as, you know, I'm getting to my first round of forecasting that will take place in the next couple of weeks, and then we'll start kind of see what the kids' interests are. You know, kind of laying out some elective choices and kind of seeing where those kids want to be. And then it's up to me to kind of build that master schedule that accommodates as many of those students chasing their passion and what they want to do, with as few conflicts as possible. So I'd like to, I haven't seen that. I'd kind of like to see that.
I have magic clerks that has it.
I'll get that one.
I mean, it just sounds like a retractable dog leash to me, right? Like, if you want it, you have to show me that you're gonna be responsible with it. And if you want to choose for yourself, just don't show me you're gonna make smart decisions, and I'll let you choose for yourself.
Yeah.
If you fail, I'll reel you back a little bit and get back on the right path.
Do that.
That's good.
Well said.
All right. 8.0, reports and information. 8.1, Pleasant Hill Elementary evening debris.
Good evening. I apologize for the topic. I promise I'm not gonna be. It's the lovely trees outside. I've added some little new dimensions to my life. Starting with elementary monthly attendance, you can see that all grade levels have stayed above 90%. We had a little bit of a pickup in February because lo and behold, some new virus moved through the building and we all experienced it in one way or another. Our state regular attenders continues to go up, inching little by hundreds. And we continue to work on getting that to continue in a positive direction. We had 41 students participate in OBOB, the Oregon Battle of the Books program this year. Our fourth grade bookworms team made up of Brunson Hill, Bree Melvin, Olivia Melvin, and Lucy Smith represented our school at the regional tournament on March 9th. They did really well. It was 160 teams present, and they had a combined score in book play, the first round of 100, almost 100 points. And there were a lot of us as principals who were putting our heads together, and our teams were right around 100 points. The top 16 moved on, and we're not one of the top 16, but the kids did a really great job and said, "Do you want to start reading?" And I was like, "Oh, well, guess what? 9 of the books are in my office." And as of right now, there's 15 of them in my office. We're waiting for the final book to be selected. Kids do get a voice in the program and get to select at least one book through the vote process across the state of Oregon. Our fifth graders started OSAS testing assigned to their grade levels. Our fifth graders have completed the SEED survey. And that's a survey to help Oregon Department of Education gather information about the educational experiences of our students in the state of Oregon. And they've already started working on their science tests. As of today, I have only 3 students in fifth grade who have opted out of testing. Tomorrow, our fourth grade starts taking the SEED test. And again, as of this evening, I have no students who have opted out of any OSAS or SEED survey testing at that grade level. I put in a whole bunch of upcoming events because at the point I wrote this, we had so many upcoming events. And thank you for putting up with the book fair containers around it. I promise this was supposed to be out of here this morning at 7 a.m. I don't know when it's going to leave. It arrived on a Thursday morning at 6:30. So you just never know when they're going to show up. But last Thursday night, we had our community family fun night, consisting of the nacho feed in the cafeteria. We added an art museum this year, based upon the works of famous artists that the kids have been studying. Third grade had the living museum. I was tickled, the teachers and I both were, we had 94% of our students participate that evening in the living museum. That's the highest rate of participation for an evening event with students that we've had in a long time. We also had the book fair right here, and I do happen to know, because Megan let me know that night, that by the book fair being open that evening, they profited an additional $2,000. So we'll be getting more information about that shortly, and Kona Ice is out here in front as well. Stone Radke sent me a late email Sunday and to announce to me that the VI teams for Pleasant Hill School District had a good showing at state. Saturday in Hillsborough. We had a K2 team at the elementary level. It's non-competitive for them, but the assessors were very impressed and gave them lots of kudos and very positive feedback and encouragement to continue on their journey. Our third grade team, the Beans, if I remember their name correctly, they went on to take a first place as well. And then our 5 Musketeers made up of 4 fifth graders and 1 fourth grader, again, took first place and have been invited to Globals, which is in Kansas City in the month of May. And the kids were so jazzed this morning. One of them came off the bus, flying to find me, said, "Mrs. Stummer, it's going to cost $20,000 to go." And I'm like, "What?" And I was like, "Go in there, Grayson." So he had to walk me back through all of his math. And then at lunch, he came to me and goes, "Okay, I got to refine this math." It's like, "Okay, so what are you going to refine this?" Well, I needed to divide it in half because Chris and Kayla also have a team at the middle school level that has been invited to go to Globals as well. And so they'll begin fundraising and all that good stuff. More details to come. Kindergarten orientation is happening this Wednesday, right here in this room from 3 to 4. Jennifer, thank you for letting me know that you'd be our board member coming. We're gonna take the parents through the day in the life of a kindergarten. And so they'll get an opportunity to meet staff that their kindergarten student may come into contact with during their kindergarten year. And so we're real excited, and I'll let you know how many bodies show up. I don't know that I'm willing to go out on the tree limb yet and say, hey, the general rule of thumb has always been whoever shows up at registration, you double that number, that's gonna be where you land. This year, that kind of fell right apart for me, because had we doubled our number, we should have had 86 kids. But we all know that it was an extremely low birth year across the county. And so we've got kindergarten classrooms in the county sitting with as few kids as 13 in their classrooms. And I think the largest one I've heard of is 22. And we were there at one point. But we kind of lost one along the way. Also, in front of you, I put up a wonderful, big, colorful charts. And I apologize for not getting this sooner, but we've had so much going on. This is our Dibbles chart. So if you look at the first column, the beginning, this is in the fall. This is where we were. And in kindergarten, remember, we always start with letter naming fluency. In the middle section, that goes away. We don't continue it when we get to January. That goes away and we go to non-set word, correct letter sounds, non-set word reading to arrive at our score. But interestingly enough, that's where we start in first grade in the fall, is with the non-set word and correct letter sounds. In the middle section for first grade, then we begin form. So we're looking at their oral reading fluency. All the way through second grade, all the way through now through 8th grade, and then Taylor will be talking about that shortly too. We are looking at their ORF scores. Our goal always is to move as many kids as we can up a color level or two if possible. And in some of our cases, like in third grade came in very not so happy with me when they saw this. And I was like, what's wrong? And they're like, Deborah, it's not fair. I said, what isn't fair? We had new move-ins. I know, guys, it happens to all of us. And I happen to know that the new move-ins were not in the color range that they all wish they would have been in. But that's okay. We've already seen some good growth. One of the things that we do, and we just had a data team meeting this evening, was we look at, again, everyone's ORF scores, and we're also looking at the accuracy scores, because that's a good indicator. We have a problem in the area of their lives. And we need to go in and we need to see what we can do to help build that back. So we were talking about how to do that this evening as well. And again, we also do progress monitoring every 3 weeks. And I just read a great little quote of someone this morning that said, if you're doing reading intervention, make sure you've got a progress monitor going with it, because it's not an intervention if you're not progress monitoring. And that is so true. The last document I have for you is I just decided I was going to give you again, I did this in the fall, I believe, another copy of the cut scores, just so that you know what's going on and what our expectations are. So if you turn over to, let's see. Go find a good one. If you go down to oral reading fluency, you'll notice in the first column of numbers down there, that's first grade. That's their scores. So we're expecting this time of year that they are ranging from 10 to 34 words a minute, correct? 35 is in the exceeds area where we'd love to see all of our kids go. But we're tickled when we're in the green and the blue. And again, we're working diligently with our kids in the red and the yellow to get them up through our Walk to Read program, where we're differentiating for our kids. So we're basing it upon their needs. And we also have WIN going on. And then we did, we're working with the grant, the early literacy grant, and we are doing a extended learning 2 days a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays, where kids are working with 5 teachers and 11 PAs. So we're breaking them up into really small groups, no more than 2, maybe 3 per group. And we're using a program called Read Naturally. where the kids are getting vocabulary experience, they're getting reading fluency experience, they're getting comprehension experience and some writing, complete sentences and things of that nature too. And we are beginning to see growth with that as well. And we'll be sharing more about that in the future. Questions you have?
Very much, Deborah, appreciate it.
You're welcome.
8.2, middle school, evening, Caleb.
Good evening. First of all, congratulations to our February students of the month. For sixth grade, our student of the month was Reese Dockery, seventh grade, Brooklyn Breslaw, for eighth grade, Annalie Epperson. Most improved students of the month for sixth grade, Sophie Tanguma, seventh grade, Sophie Berkman, eighth grade, Boyd Craig. Citizen of the month, sixth grade, Paisley Crawford, seventh grade, Kristen Gardner, and eighth grade, Jack Keonix. Last Friday, I got to go plant trees with the seventh graders at Christina Timberland. It was awesome. The weather was gorgeous. It was a lot of fun. Thanks to Miss Taylor for putting that together for her students. We also had our CTE last Thursday, which was a great opportunity for families to tour our CTE facilities and learn more about our CTE offerings. I've updated grades for sixth grade D's and F's as of the month of February, followed by seventh grade and eighth grade. Then we have the percentage of students with 90% attendance or better year to date by grade level, by month. That's the chart you're looking at. And then you're looking for dibbles, you're looking at our fall and winter composite scores. So we're looking at both our oral reading fluency as well as comprehension. Looking forward, this Friday, I think the weather's gonna turn, but we're gonna do our run for funds anyways, followed by our Billy Pride celebration, which should be a great day for running and celebrating. We hope to raise lots of money to support enriching activities for our students.
Very much, Caleb. 8.3, high school report, evening, Chris.
Good evening. Caleb talked about it last week. We had our CTE night. Spoke with Anaheim for the CTE night. That was again like a good opportunity for parents to come and kind of check out what CTE programs that we have available. Saturday was Mr. Billy. Raise your hand if you're a Mr. Billy competition. So you guys saw the Mr. Billy competition. That was great. Mr. Billy for 2024 is Braden Hazel. And overall, the group of men raised $35,000 for children's marathon. So it's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive for that. Our booster club's having an auction on April 27th, Springfield Armory. And it's a baseball team, diamonds and pardon me? Diamonds and dugouts. So if you want to come to the booster auction, dress in your best baseball attire. I'm going to be a Rockford Peach coach, and my wife is going to be a Rockford Peach. At that night,
There's no crying in baseball.
there's no crying in baseball. The prom is going to be held May 11th. That too is at the Springfield Armory, and that is red carpet themed. So those are some of the things that are coming up in the spring. Our spring sports and activity participation numbers. Baseball, we have 29 students out, softball 23, track and field 64. Boys volleyball started off with an interest of 25, but that has dwindled down. Mr. McLean was calling each kid in that signed up into his office today. They were all like, no, I think I got something else I need to do. But on the first blush on the outset, they were all really excited to play volleyball. We had multiple sport athletes like track and baseball players are going to play volleyball on the side, but I don't know if that's going to take out for sure or not. But every person I heard come in was a no. It was hard no. What I did is I took a look at random reports and synergy just to take a look at on track, see what that is, and basically run a report. And the students have an opportunity to earn 7 credits a year, but they only need 6 credits a year. So basically, anybody, so less than 3 credits for a freshman at the semester, they should have 3 credits. They should pass 6 of their 7 classes. We only had 2 that weren't on track after the first semester. 10th graders, they should have passed 9 credits by that semester. We only had 4 that are less than 9 credits. Juniors should have 15 credits, and we have 7 juniors that at this point do not have the 15 credits. And then 12th graders, they should have 21, and we only have 3 that were definitely nudging along this spring to make sure they get across the stage in June. Deborah kind of pointed out this year, or this, our average daily attendance, I didn't run it and then look at it again, but then we did have the flu bug that kind of ran through staff and students alike, so our average daily attendance is down for the month, which also affected our regular attenders through February.
Are those kids not on track attendance issues?
You know, some are, yeah, that's usually one of the main influences is the attendance.
Yeah.
So I could actually run that if you want to see that more specifically. I mean, I thought about that, because, you know, you always say, what are the factors, you know, that it's even like the DNF list. I think I talked about the last time I was here. A lot of the DNF lists are often the irregular attenders or people with attendance problems. And so I could put a correlation there. I think I could predict with pretty good certainty what that correlation would be between student staffs or being on track and attendance. I do know that I didn't want to muddy up the statistics a lot. No, there was a good number of those that were off track were just a half credit short, but it's still a half credit. No, it's maybe 2.5 credits instead of 3, 21.5. So there was that, but I just wanted to give the straight numbers.
Yeah. As long as you know the intervention of it.
All right, thank you very much, Chris. 8.4, superintendent evaluation. So, everybody, including Mr. Chris, had an opportunity to review this statement in advance. Assuming we don't have any other questions or concerns, so I'm just going to read it aloud for the record. Board of Directors of the Pleasant Hill School District has completed the annual evaluation of Superintendent Jim Christ for the 23-24 school year. All 5 board members have served on the board during the school year and have been able to observe and be part of this successes achieved this year. Evaluation focused on 1, 8 professional standards, 2, district board/superintendent goals established at the beginning of the year. Those goals are as follows: positive and supportive culture, aligned instructional system to support student achievement, safe, secure, modern, and well-maintained facilities, high-quality staff, effective district governance. Regarding the 8 professional standards, we determined that Mr. Chris' performance was strong in the areas of inclusive district culture, communication and community relations, effective financial management, and policy, governance, and advocacy. Visionary district leadership, inclusive district culture, culturally responsive instructional leadership and improvement, and effective organizational management all received a rating of average. The board believes Mr. Christ has done significant work to quickly assess the district in its current state and build upon the good work being done while initiating new programs and procedures where needed. He has worked well with the unions, including successfully negotiating a 3-year licensed collective bargaining agreement. Mr. Christ operates with strong moral integrity and communicates well with stakeholders. His knowledge in education norms and school law has made him a trustworthy and valuable resource for the board. In particular, the board appreciated Mr. Christ's handling of the transition to a new building principal. There is optimism his investment in staff development will result in improved outcomes for students and overall staff morale. The board looks forward to continuing its partnership with Mr. Christ to achieve the goals listed above to create a unified learning environment where both staff and students can thrive. All right. 9.0, superintendent communication.
So the one thing I got is the recent legislature approved summer school program for $30 million. Fortunately, we were ranked 223 out of 281, and that means we're on a waiting list. And right now, the top 1 through 72 are funded, so there's between 72 and 223. So the chances that we'll have any money for summer program is slim to nothing.
What's the ranking based on?
You know, I don't know all the details that go into that. This just came out today. I can go into that. A lot of it is around socioeconomic status, poverty levels of the school district. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chances, you know,
Yeah. That said, we do have the early literacy grant, though, that will provide some opportunity for some students and continue doing what we do. Oh, yeah.
All right, thank you. 10.0 board communication, 10.1 community or committee or community news announcements.
I have two things. The Oregon Rural Schools is now a caucus for the Oregon State School Board Association, so they have a voting seat. Our school district qualifies. They've approved their president, vice president, all of that. I'm interested in joining just as a listening member to see what. I think their main goal is to kind of collaborate all the small districts from a legislative perspective. But I suppose I'm asking for your blessing to join, like, just as a listening member to see if anything comes up that could benefit us that we want to jump on.
So it would be basically you attending as a representative of the board.
Yeah, I'd be sitting in on their Zoom meetings.
So that would be like is that something we'd vote on?
Don't have to.
Yeah.
No, it's open for everybody, but I think just the purpose of maintaining open communication and.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I can't imagine.
Great, glad you're doing
Yes.
this.
You would say, I think you thought John might want to like it.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Okay, and then my second thing, this is fairly early on in the process, but I discovered through an issue with my own family that a lot of our, I found out from Devery that a lot of our student body, we have free access to the library in Lowell, but Dexter. But we don't have a public library that our kids can access. Which was kind of astounding to me that not every public school kid has free access to a library. And it's not, the financial burden isn't a lot, at least in my eyes. It's like $50 a year per household to go to Crestwell or to Springfield, or it's more to go to Eugene. But for some, that would be a barrier. So I've got a few contacts in the library system, and I was just going to kind of pursue. I know that Bethel and 4J have already have a framework with the City of Eugene Library on getting cards for all of their students available. So I was just gonna kind of work those contacts and see if I could see what's available, at least for our community. That was, no, I had no idea until that happened to me.
Yeah, I mean, I was aware, but it didn't occur to me to actually take action to see if there's anything to be done about it, so that sounds great.
Yeah, and I don't know what, really don't know what the impact on our community would be if people would take advantage of it or not. So that's another side of it.
Well, my understanding, I mean, if nothing else, if you can you have access to digital content, right? I mean, I know not everybody has digital devices, but still, it's not like where you have to actually physically, like, say, we somehow figure out a way to get to the Eugene Library, you know, actually physically go there to take advantage of that membership, so.
Yeah.
Um, someone with 3 kids who burn through books like crazy, and I think that they would make use of that for sure, especially in the summer.
Yeah.
Awesome, thank you. Anything else? 11.0 other business. Right. 12.0 next meeting, April 8th, 7 p.m. right here. 13.0, we are adjourned for the evening. Thanks.